And we're live.
You're listening to the We Talk Nerd podcast, a podcast about gaming, movies, and everything nerd. I'm your host, Brandon.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Rob.
And this week, we'll talk to Andrew first and see what he's been up to.
It's been a while, gents, hasn't it?
It's been a little bit.
Who are you people?
I have been gaming, yes. Some World of Warcraft.
Some good games or just Destiny?
I would say it's some good games. Octopath is in there. I've been
Okay,
playing a lot of
nice.
Octopath. And that game's amazing. There's actually a little grind to it, going back to like the JRPG stuff. Like in between like storylines and story points, there's a little grind. And I have to say, like, I'm not tired by it because the actual gameplay is great. Like the battle system and finding the weaknesses and leveling up my characters, it's all very good. So still really enjoying that game. And I'm like 20 hours in and maybe in Act 2 level like 30. So there's still a lot of game to be had there. And I'm enjoying that.
Wow.
Yeah, and of course playing Destiny because Forsaken came out, but we'll be talking about that a little later.
Next week.
No, this week. This has to be this week.
Well, besides traveling, Rob, what have you been up to?
So it was my fault last week that we didn't have the show. So that was I was in the great northern wastes of Wisconsin, and during that time I didn't manage to really play much of anything, but I made up for it when I got back. I threatened to finish The Witcher 3, and I actually did.
Nice.
Blood and Wine is totally wrapped up. I left Geralt on a nice hill in wine country overlooking the land, and I think that's it for Witcher 3. So it was a little bittersweet, a little sad to shut it down and be like, nah, that's it, no more.
Ooh, so good.
Yeah, great game, great series, and I think we'll talk a little bit more about what CD Projekt Red has in store for us. But I can't wait for it after the experience I had with Witcher 3.
Nice.
Equally fun and touching was I've put the last couple hours, I would say maybe even 10 hours into Horizon Zero Dawn, the Frozen Wilds expansion.
Nice.
So that is totally done.
How long that take?
That took a while. That expansion was probably about 15, 20 hours.
Wow, really? I still
Yeah.
haven't actually got to go through it and finish it.
Well, that's also if you go through and do everything in there too, which I'm kind of a completist. So
That's
it's like,
that's exactly what I do.
yeah, like I don't want to ruin everything, but after you beat the game, they're like, oh, remember that guy that was super hard? Here's like 5 more of them to go fight like out in the wild. So
That
go
sounds
enjoy
awful.
that.
That sounds awful.
So yeah, well, it was a grind, and it was good. It's an amazing game, and it's well worth the, I don't know, was it $20 nowadays? I think it's
worth
like a
it was worth
stupid
full
good
price.
value. It was definitely worth full price. And then I've turned my focus over to Detroit Become Human, but that's going to be short-lived. I am waiting for my Spider-Man activation key, which I couldn't be much more hyped for. It's actually a pretty good week all around for releases, but we'll get into that. How about you, Brandon? What you been up to?
Oh man, my name is WoW, and that's all I can do. And I'm currently still behind and not where I need to be.
Really? Wow.
Yes, I'm actually haven't been able
He
to get
said
a
he
lot
was
of
playing
it in.
WoW.
Yeah.
No.
Been working on getting a PC put together, and that's just incredibly time consuming when you have to take it apart 3 times, and then feel like an idiot when you realize the last time you took it apart, you really didn't need to take it apart.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It
upgraded
always
my
happens.
graphics card cooler right the same day Destiny 2 came out. I'm like, oh, I need to cool this down. And ended up breaking it.
Oh,
No.
that's
Yeah.
the worst.
The PC
Yeah.
building's all about experimentation, you know.
Patience, like tons and tons of patience.
Yeah.
Sure.
But other than that, I tested out some 2 Point Hospital, which is I think pretty cool if you like kind of theme park games or 2 Point Hospital. That's a theme park. 2 Point Hospital, which is like a spiritual successor to Theme Hospital. But yeah, if you like the kind of tycoon-y games, it's really fun. I'll talk about it here in a little bit as well.
I was going to say, you're not the only person that thinks it's pretty cool, apparently.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, we can jump right into it and talk about this 48-minute long gameplay reveal video for Cyberpunk 2020.
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know about you guys, but that, holy cow, that was pretty awesome.
I agree. That was amazing what I saw of it. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. That was I found out about it kind of late, and I just didn't have time to watch it all today. But I watched a bit of it, and yeah, that's everything I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I watched all 48 minutes, and it's probably better than just watching those 48 minutes. Is probably better than playing some of the games here lately. It was,
Wow.
Sure. Yeah.
it's
All right.
it looks
Some
so
of the looter
good.
shooters that are out there.
Oh,
Hey.
definitely. But yeah, this game looks incredibly deep. They talked about how many different decisions can be made when approaching stories. They showed off a bunch of different like systems and combat perks and skills and stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be The Witcher 3 with the cyberpunk skin, and yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait.
I think it'll actually probably be even like more advanced than The Witcher when Witcher 3 came out. Like,
Oh, definitely. I mean,
This
you're talking about a
looks-
2015 game that was in development since
Yeah.
2010.
yeah,
This is going to be 5 years newer, released a decade after Witcher 3 production started.
yeah.
So, yeah, I would hope so.
This looks pretty groundbreaking in terms of technology and kind of the next stepping stone and the evolution of gaming.
I mean, the graphics aren't that next step, though.
Yeah, they
Oh,
are.
the video that pretty much was widely available was way scaled down. They actually came out and released a full resolution version that you had to go download, and it was a couple of gigs big.
Oh, I did not see that one. Okay.
Yeah, I
'cause-
haven't watched that one either.
It looks astounding.
okay.
But
Like,
yeah.
if you look at some of the stills for it, they're just ridiculous.
Yeah, this game is gonna be crazy.
Hmm. So, what specific parts of the trailer did you enjoy? Like, there was the deflecting bullets. There was the
I think
running on walls.
the
There
point
was
where I was like, "Oh man, I gotta have this game," is when I don't know. I guess it's not really a spoiler if it's like a little demo trailer, but when
I think
they
it's when the video started. That's when I said, "Okay, I need to have this."
but whenever they're in the I don't know what they call them, like the little cybernetic gang hangout thing, and at that point they're like, "All right, we're gonna shoot our way out of here," and it just all goes to hell, and that was like, wow. And they pulled out the whole like spider arms, and they were running on the wall and stabbing people with them. That was great.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be
Cybernetics
mature.
is gonna be cool. It is very mature.
So I think that's probably fair to like kind of warn folks about.
Mhm.
Witcher 3 had nothing graphic, I would say, in terms of like adult content, other than the violence.
Witcher 3 had some stuff every now and then if you seeked it out.
Yeah.
There was a question brought up, and to add a little to discussion was, is CD Projekt Red just as reputable as let's say BioWare or even Rockstar? Like, is that name
Ooh.
is that name getting up there, or is it
I
just
think-
as new, or just
I think
newer?
after Witcher 3, it was definitely up there.
It was up there.
I'm going to say over those two that you just mentioned, more so.
More.
Definitely in recent years. BioWare is like if you look at what since Witcher 3, BioWare really hasn't put anything out.
I mean, the GTA 5 was the best grossing game and ever, so that's Rockstar, and they've been doing
That's a great
things.
game that was released in 2012 that they have milked money out of people for
And so I think it's got
6
a
years.
larger audience too than
I don't know. It
Witcher
might be
3.
close. Probably because you got the console folks, but
Well,
Witcher
I mean that, and it's it's Grand Theft Auto. Kids are gonna play it. Your non-gamers are gonna play Grand Theft Auto because Grand Theft Auto is at this point is a house name brand.
Yeah.
It's Witcher. Witcher. Hardly anybody knew about The Witcher when The Witcher 3 came out.
No,
except for hardcore
No.
fans. I don't
I
know.
was-
I'm just saying. You don't hear a lot of people going, "Oh man, I love the first Witcher."
the first Witcher was not was really good
back
for its
then.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but The Witcher 2 is still considered like an amazing game, especially for the time. The Assassin of Kings. I mean, that's a very immersive, similar gameplay to Witcher 3. It's just that Witcher 3 came out and everyone forgot about everything else
Yeah.
because Witcher 3 was so good.
This is good input because with this game coming out, there's so much hype around this game. And they haven't really made a lot of titles other than The Witcher, and I don't know. That's the only one I know, of course. But just in that retrospect, it's just like so
That
much
blend-
hype around this. Gwent. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I forgot about Gwent.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
They're also the people behind Good Old Games. So I mean, there's a bit of a bit of cross pollination there. Yeah, GOG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're the folks behind that. You're right. There's probably not a whole lot in their backlog of like what kind of games that they've made, but I think you could point to The Witcher 1 as like a fantastic game for RPG's sake. I mean, everything before that was like a CRPG or like an Oblivion, Skyrim type of, and this one really brought in some quick pace action because like the mouse fighting was novel. They didn't stick with it, but you could do some pretty cool stuff with just like alternating left and right click in combat, which was pretty unique for the time. And then, as I mentioned, Witcher 2 was just a slightly uglier, but just as immersive and amazing game as well, I shouldn't say amazing, but for compared to Witcher 3, it was the Witcher 3 of 2009, 2010. Yeah. So I mean, it's around that time frame.
So they earned it.
They've earned it. They certainly earned it.
I think so.
I would put them in like rarefied air. I put them up there with like Rocksteady or like Blizzard.
Wow.
And not that like the scope of what they do, but just the
quality, name brand of it.
Exactly.
Like Brandon said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I used to have
Witcher 3.
BioWare there, but BioWare has done things to me.
I hope Anthem can. I don't expect Anthem to be that groundbreaking.
I got low expectations for Anthem, but I'll play it.
Yeah, I hope it's at least better than Destiny 2.
We'll talk about that.
What is it?
But yeah, moving away from that, just a couple of things. Speaking of Anthem, they came out and said all the story DLC will be free, unlike Destiny, where you have to pay for seasons and stuff.
We still don't know if Anthem's going to be a good game or not.
We don't.
And we don't know what kind of story it's going to have. I mean, BioWare was kind of shaky on some of the stuff that they've come out with. I mean, Mass Effect 3 I thought was very good. This is more of a multiplayer co-op thing, and yeah, I haven't really gotten into it. They've been decent, but I haven't really been pulled into them. People
are skeptical because they haven't had any, or they've never created a games of service before, or at least this full-blown multiplayer. But the specific line they said, and this was during Gamescom during that interview process, was that they want people to enjoy the story together. So that's what they're doing, is they're including the DLC, or at least the story aspects of it, for free. Whereas they did say cosmetic stuff will still be bought, which is that's every game. Yeah,
totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Unless they do a cosmetic that only paints like a part of your armor. And you have to collect 5 of them and then you can't get rid of them easily.
Yeah,
I think that's where I'd have some heartburn.
Right.
Heartburn
but no one would ever do that
for sure. Other than that, and in terms of news, before we dive into the beast that is Destiny 2, old school RuneScape is coming to iOS and Android on October 30th.
The people that play RuneScape are very dedicated.
Yes,
to RuneScape, and good for them. I mean, I'm not among them, but I know people that have been playing for 20 years.
Yeah,
I don't know how you have that 20-year engagement. You couldn't have it with WoW because it just hasn't been out long enough. It predates WoW by 6 years. So it's just and it hasn't gotten any of the upgrades that WoW had.
No,
so
it's not.
It still looks like a 1998 game, that people were playing in 2018. So
yeah,
good on them, and good for them that they're able to experience on newer platforms.
Will these connect to the same servers?
I don't know. It's a good question. I would assume.
I'd hope so.
Awesome. I mean, see why not? But
that'd be cool. That'd be really cool, right?
I'd play. There's not really a lot of games on iOS that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to play. So I don't know. This game might be my go-to iOS game when I'm at work or something.
Sure. So I guess I'm breaking some news. Destiny 2 came out with an expansion. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
Should I speak first, or should I speak first?
I only literally get ads everywhere I look for it.
Which of the super fans put their notes up first for this week's article?
All right, I did put it above yours, but you know what?
Oh yeah,
go ahead, go for it.
Yeah. So let's go to my first notes here at the bottom.
Oh yeah, these are great notes, by the way.
Yeah, the pink ones. That is my
Yes.
color for a little bit of fourth wall breaking. My notes are in pink on our shared Google Doc.
I mean, it's kind of purple.
No, I actually really just have questions for Andrew more than anything.
Okay, good.
I haven't really watched it. Everyone's heard the spoilery stuff, right? Like they talked about it for a while
it's
now.
in the trailer.
Yeah, Cade is dead. The brother of the asteroid princess is a murderer and is in a prison. Aldrin.
We all know who that is.
Yep. Yeah, no one forgot about him.
So what are the questions? We're trying to hype it up, like discussion, that
Who's
sort of
trying
thing.
to hype it up?
Oh my goodness.
But I think so. The real question, though, I think more than anything is this really the shot in the arm that Destiny 2 needs to regain, to number one, hold off other games that are coming soon. I mean, 4 or 5 months is soon with Anthem. And is it enough to bring people back that have been away?
The kind of stuff I've been hearing on in Reddit and stuff like that, people are now looking at Destiny 2 the way they looked at Destiny 1 when it kind of flipped over, where they're like, the game's actually enjoyable now. So I think it's finally got to that point where people are like, okay, now it's as good after the first year.
Yep.
So,
Right.
Which means never buy a Destiny game until it's been out for a year.
that
seems to be
the track record.
I don't know if you're missing out on much.
That is a track record. And to answer your question, and just as Brandon said, people are coming back to it. Will it combat whatever's coming out this fall season and this winter season? I don't know yet, because it is still releasing content. The raid is still being, it's still being released. And as far as I know, that if they're saying that it's ever changing, so the raid will constantly change as well. So that being said, with the end game, because that's what Destiny is all about, is the end game, and keeping people active and getting the loot they want and keeping, just good activity in the community. I don't know yet. I haven't gotten to the raid yet, but I can say that the storyline is very good. It's very, very good. So I want to go back to the beginning where it said, like,
how long of a story does it have?
Oh, at the moment I played around 7-8 hours, and I'm not even halfway through yet.
You're not even halfway through.
I'm not even halfway through yet. Yeah, 7-8 hours.
Longer than the original, because the original takes about 7-8 hours, right? To probably go from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And when I say original, I mean just Destiny 2 was released back in September, when everyone, they stole the light.
People praise that story, at least because the goal and stealing the light and getting it back.
The story was, I would at least say, better than the first one for sure.
Right. Yeah.
The only thing I really remember from it, and I found very enjoyable, was when you're running out in front of the sun and it's just like beating down on the ship. Like that, I thought that was pretty cool. But that's the only part I really took away from it.
Well, they still have those really fantastic moments, especially the graphics, because the graphics are just stunning, and we can at least admit that.
I can admit that. I think the game looks great.
It looks the same. If you liked it before, it's still good. If you didn't, it's I've never had a problem with Destiny's appearance, gameplay, controls, anything like that. It's always been a very polished, well-produced game.
I'll give you that one. It is a very polished, well-produced game, and looks good.
And well optimized too. But I have to say, for this release specifically, I've noticed very little drops in frames, and I think that's just more optimization for Forsaken and for Destiny 2. As for the release of Forsaken, and there are a lot of people that want to get on the servers, and I wasn't there for the 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time release, but there was just a queue. And that was it, and no bugs.
No, screwed us up over there on WoW.
Yeah,
Thanks
so
to Destiny people. Destiny,
they did really well in the release, and it's really, really good considering the previous releases, and considering that there's a lot of people coming back. So just going along with the story, and you guys can chime in whenever you want for questions. Is so far I played 8 hours, and the story is really good. And I put a note here because I did really hype up the previous expansions, Osiris and Warmind, and I was like, oh yeah, I gave it an 8 and 9. But looking back on it, compared to it, they were just average. They really just average DLCs, especially for the story and how long and what content it brings.
This your color, but I'd have to ask it: is can you be trusted anymore? Are you part of the deep state looking to undermine?
I have to be real now. And as real as people are listening to this and wanting to know more about Destiny is. Previous expansions, Osiris, Warmind, just okay.
Okay, let's re-review them. What's the rating?
I would say Osiris is a 6.
A 6?
Warmind,
you gave it like a 9 out of 10.
I know Warmind is a 7 because it's like the hype at the time. You know, it was like, oh, I wanted something. You know, I need something.
So what makes this different is my next question.
Right. What makes it different?
How is this one different?
3 months.
So without spoilers.
Well, Forsaken's really a 6. You know, now that I think about it. You know.
So without spoilers, I'm gonna try to answer your question. Is what makes this different? I
understand they put a storyline in where there wasn't one before, so I understand.
They put a storyline in where it exemplifies and makes it more gritty, and I have to say, and it adds more depth into it. And this is just being broad. If you get into the story and I could tell you the details, yes, it is definitely more deep. New enemies, brand new enemies, no overskins or anything like that. There's new challenges. They act differently.
So it's not like
how many new enemies?
Yeah, it's not like a different color.
How many actually?
How many new models are we talking? Like
we're talking over 10.
Over 10 new enemies?
10 new enemies, right?
Now we're not talking about just like variations of these 10 enemies. These are like 10 different like character models that fight differently and
10
look totally
different
different from
character models that are different. Like
wow.
Now I have to say I'm not spoiling. Like I'm trying to say this because 10 different models, whereas some of them are very unique. Where just like bosses are unique, right? Is that what you're saying? Like that's a different model, right?
Yeah, that's right. Because isn't this the Barons thing where it's the
yeah, right?
Yeah. So
and they all act and
play
different.
Barons.
Yeah, or 6.
6 Barons. So that means 4 new enemies. That's still decent because Destiny's made its money on recycling the same art assets, from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. I mean, there really is not much difference between the Taken in 2 versus 1, Fallen 2 versus 1. They all pretty much look the same.
Frozen Taken in the last DLC.
Yeah. And that's not counting. This is not counting whatever we see in the raid, which I am trying not to, exploit myself watching streams or anything, but we'll see. And then just that alone, just new enemies, new challenges. That's always fun. The level grind. I mean, this may not be your thing, but for people that enjoy the grind or enjoy just leveling up and seeing the progress, it's much smoother now. Like previous expansions, you had to like take time off, go over here, do this, and do different things. But now it's as you're going through the story, it tells you and it progresses you very smoothly. And you start seeing you definitely start seeing the progress, and you get more loot. You attach that, you get more powerful, and
sure.
So does your abilities, which there are new abilities, which you've seen in the trailers. I have the new Kamehameha, light beam warlock, and that is that is overpowered and amazing.
Yeah, are you doing the Skull Fort? It's a Skull Fort combo where you can just like constantly like jump and like ground smash with the melee. Like it refills like as soon as you kill someone, and now that the Titan's shoulder is like a one-hit kill, like you can almost like chain them.
I haven't played the Titan. I'm playing the Warlock, and this is the one where the Lightning Warlock, where you're just a huge beam of light or a huge beam of arc energy for like I think 8 seconds. It's a lot of damage, and you can wipe everything. You just one swipe can empty the screen. It's great.
Cool.
A bow, that's new. I mean, yes, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm adding one more weapon, but really, the bow is a game changer. I see a lot of people using it. It may be my favorite weapon. This is how it plays. The one they give you near the start of the campaign just to introduce it to you.
Spoiler.
That's a little spoiler. It's a little bit, but I have to say, it has hip fire on it. So, and you don't have to, like, actually go into sights and do it, but that's for long range.
How do you fire from your hip on a bow?
You can. You just from the side.
That seems... like
No, it works. I just have to say, it just feels really good. I don't know what to say. Like it's powerful. It attaches on the enemies. It has explosive tip, so it attaches onto them and explodes, and then it hits everything around them. It just feels fantastic. I'll be using that
away
more.
from that, but I don't know. I don't understand why bows are in games when they have these very advanced weaponry. But of course, we always revert back to the bow. Just don't feel like the bow would be very effective.
Well, even their guns are like archetypes of things that are today. I mean, they're still shotguns, they're still pistols,
right.
they're still machine guns, right? Like it's all.
I would
Yeah, they
rather
got like
use all
some
those
fancy
over a bow
alien
in
skin.
combat.
Maybe. I mean, I use the bow. I didn't really care much for it, but I think that was just my unfamiliarity and the fact that I'm not very good
I'm
at
sure
Destiny.
it works really well in game. This is kind of a an out there side.
It works very well in game. I don't know really the answer to the question. Bows, I don't know, but maybe there's magical bows.
Like a staple for kind of like futuristic stuff. It's like we're going back to bows.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they got staffs too, right? And hammers. I mean,
true.
Before too long, you have a rock.
This is true.
So your guardian rocket people.
These are all solid points.
So along with the weapons, there's the new weapons system where you can mix and match. It's a little confusing.
You no longer have like the primary slot and then your secondary slot where you have like different ammo types for both of them.
So here's how it works. It took me a bit because going from your previous guns, you're just like, okay, what's changed? And you're looking at all your guns. It tells you if it goes in the primary slot, the secondary slot, or the heavy ammo slot. Like guns are attached to that slot. You can't just move a gun to it. Yeah, you just can't move a gun to it. Right? So they are a thing, but you'll see the archetypes in different slots. Like you'll get a drop for a sniper, and it'll go in your secondary.
Okay, so
that makes sense.
Shotguns and rocket launchers and snipers aren't locked to that heavy ammo slot anymore.
Some are. But they aren't. But yeah, some aren't. And you'll see even some snipers in the primary slot. Just like, why not? That sort of thing. So you can mix and match.
Primary
you
snipers,
you can have all snipers if you want. That's if you get the guns for that. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but I can see where you can do the mix and match, and I enjoy it. It felt really good to have the sniper back in the secondary slot. It just felt right. It just felt right.
It sounds really awful for a player like me because when I played, I wanted to always have at least each weapon type on me at all times, and that just means I just have too many weapons. I couldn't loot any new ones. It sounds awful.
In this case, you have 500. You have 500 vault space now, so
that requires going to the vault.
It does, but you have dim, so a third-party tool that Bungie. Supports through their API that you have to use basically to help you throughout the game. Unfortunate, but still, there's tools out there, and you can pick up your weapons wherever. So you have 500 slots in your vault to just pick and choose.
Fill up with shaders.
Well, and of course, I've only been playing for 8 hours. I'll give you more details as we go on. For Destiny 2 players, I have to say, the storyline is enough to $40 worth to play through at least. I paid for the $70 expansion annual pass. I am not sure that it's $70 worth just yet, but I will keep you updated.
The same one we gave away.
Right.
I hope that person who got that is enjoying it.
He is. He's playing a lot. He's playing a lot. So yeah, just if you're also searching for a clan or just a Discord of all these players, the Destiny 2 in our community, PixelPub, on Wrath Incarnate is booming. So just join a Discord.
Yeah, how's that look? I have all those channels turned off for Destiny, but
it's
WoW
busy.
Always being, with like WoW always being full and with Destiny always being full. I feel like the Discord's probably pretty packed constantly.
We gained over 1,000 people just in 1 week.
Nice.
So
how's the Spider-Man channel doing?
Spider-Man channel, not there yet, but you can suggest it. You can definitely suggest it if you want.
Yeah.
That's enough for Destiny. That's enough for Destiny.
Ah, thank God.
That's what I was thinking. And I didn't get to give any of my notes, but that's fine.
I know how Rob felt like the last 2 episodes. Wow, Jesus.
Also,
No, I'm okay listening to this. You know, you guys have some passions about games that I'm not necessarily, very involved with. But, I mean, I've played WoW, I played Destiny. It's, who knows? Maybe I'll be playing them again. But
we all three kind of have a different taste every now and then. That's good.
Exactly.
Yeah. And whenever Anthem comes out, I'm sure we'll be playing together, all three of us, because everyone said we're gonna play it.
Yeah, we should all probably checking it out. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, be team killing.
No.
All right. You want to tell us about some game reviews for this week?
Actually, some other person put up these. I want to let them talk. Whoever wants to do that.
Oh, someone else did this? Oh,
yes, I did this. Yeah, I'm responsible for the screenshots and pasting of this because I didn't feel like typing them out.
We're not supposed to tell them what we do. We're just supposed to, give the reporter, like we're all ready and stuff.
Normally it's like 2 or 3 pages. Now it's like 7.
Yeah. Well, and maybe this will be the easier way to go because, I don't know most of these games, and we usually only talk about a few of them. But to me, it seems like every platform has great games coming out, and when I say great, I mean like 80 plus on Metacritic. Things that are generally favorable in terms of their reviews. So yeah, I'll run through them. Sure. We'll start off with God's platform, the PC, and rounding out the bottom end is this game called Planet Alpha, which I don't know anything about. Have you guys heard anything about this?
A lot of things. Next.
Nope.
So that's a 71. So we're setting the bar kind of high.
Average.
Next game is Shadows Awakening. Kind of looks like a CRPG, similar in the vein of like Torment or a number of other games that have been kind of cropping back up, and that's sitting solidly at a 79 right now. So Shadows: Awakening, probably the most generic name for a game I've ever heard, but you can't argue with the 79. That's good quality gaming right there.
I would say it's probably a couple years ago, or maybe more than a couple years ago. Shadows Awakening would probably been a really cool name, but in today's age, it's kind of
Yeah, I feel like that should star like Kate Beckinsale and like should have like vampires and werewolves.
I like to put in perspective though, like in clicking into it, it's only 4 critics that's rated it, and then user score 11's is like 7.4, so it's a little lower.
It's still fairly good.
Right.
Yeah, average.
So the next game is called The Messenger, and this is kind of an 8-bit harkening type of game. Have you guys seen this one?
Nope.
I watched someone play this, and I don't know why, but it is basically Ninja Gaiden. Just brought into like
Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, if you look at it, the guy runs like Ninja Gaiden. He's got his sword trailing behind him, like all ninjas run, and he's got and you go through like tons of different levels. I don't know if it is. I don't know how many levels there are, but there's some pretty cool like night and day like swapping that goes on. It's hard to really say like for me to sell the game, but it seems like enough people like it. I see a 9 on Steam and an 83 on Metacritic. So overall, it seems like folks are having fun with it, and it is an under $20 game. So the price point's pretty good.
Yeah,
next is 2 Point Hospital.
Yep.
And Brandon's going to talk a little bit more about that, I guess. Maybe give us some insights on that.
Yeah, I haven't put a lot of time into it. I've done probably 3 or 4 of the first little beginning hospitals. But like I said, if you're like a tycoon game or those kind of management games, you pretty much start. You have a blank hospital. You build the rooms. You fill the rooms with stuff. The main goal is to try to earn a lot of money, and to earn a lot of money, you want people to come in that are sick. There's a lot of different sicknesses. There's different ways you have to build different rooms specifically for a lot of different illnesses. They can die, and you have to have a janitor with a ghost busting skill to get the ghost out of your hospital. Or it'll scare everybody out of your hospital, which is really annoying. And like your kind of goal is to try to get all your hospitals up to what they consider a 3-star rating, and you have to go through all that. You can buy different lots at each hospital. I'm not really that deep into it. Now there's already like a ton of stuff in it, and I love games like this. I have so much fun doing tycoon-y stuff. Probably goes back to my roller coaster tycoon roots.
Would you give it an 85 out of 100? Because that's what Metacritic has done.
Right now, I I would have probably given it an 8 out of 10, which would be like an 80. So yeah, that's pretty close.
Okay.
So maybe it go up the longer I play.
Yeah, maybe you haven't reached the 0.5 part.
Yeah, it does kind of right now at the stage where I'm at, unless something major like unlocks and changes the further I get, it kind of gets a little repetitive. Or it's just like build this room for this new sickness and build another room for this kind of sickness. So maybe that 0.5 comes a little bit later where there's another kicker in there that changes the game up a little bit. But I would say right now it's a pretty solid 8, which is still pretty good, I think.
Great. Well, I'm looking to hear your thoughts on the next game that we have releasing on the Switch. SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. So that game that you've been talking about for a while, where is a 2v2 fighting game with all the femme fatales from the SNK series. Any of you guys familiar with SNK games?
Nope. I don't understand the thing you just said.
Nope.
Yes. So SNK produces games like Fatal Fury and Neo Geo type of games that weren't as popular as like the Capcom offerings like Street Fighter, but they were in that kind of vein where you would have they also did Samurai Showdown and a couple other things. So things that you might kind of say kind of cribbed off of Street Fighter. This one is coming in at a 62. Apparently not a lot of love for this Switch fighting game, but I can't think of a lot of fighting games on the Switch, so maybe you're well served to at least check it out if you.
I can't think of any that's out yet.
Right. Well, there is one. SNK Heroines Tag Team.
There is Arms, I guess.
You're right.
And that's not really a side by side.
No, it is not. No, it is not.
So if you're looking for old school, actually Street Fighter's out for it. Street Fighter 2 Arcade Edition, right?
I would probably recommend checking that out over this.
I agree. So that sits at a 62 and it's kind of your bottom line, but and you don't have to stop there. Hyper Light Drifter is coming in with an 86. Now this is a game I kickstarted years ago
for PC, right?
Yeah, for PC. Also came out for Vita, lest we forget. And it's actually got a pretty good story behind it in that the guy who created it was fighting some like really rough medical conditions like cancer or something to that effect, and kind of brought himself back, as he was going through and getting treatment and everything. He was working on this game, so there was, I think, some concerns about whether or not he would be able to finish, like it was that dire, that serious.
Wow.
Yeah, so he ended up making it through, releasing it, and it has gotten a lot of great reviews. It's not the newest game
on PC.
Yeah, very well received on PC, on Xbox, on PS4, and now on Switch. So it's like kind of an 8-bit stylistic type of view. The action's very crisp, and you basically run around with the sword slashing things. And
it's a very quick game, isn't it?
There's bosses as well,
and fast movement.
I think there's a lot of interest in the speedrun community, because I saw this speedrun was really good. It's really good.
Yeah, it probably goes back to the whole quick movement thing.
Yeah, you can kind of blink around, which is pretty cool. And there's definitely a lot of like puzzle elements. So you could almost think of it as like a Zelda type of game.
Perfect Switch game.
Sure, exactly. And then next, another game you've been really hyped about. You keep talking to us about, and we don't know what to say. God Wars: The Complete Legend.
You said God of War?
Yes. God, the of is silent and the war is multiple. So okay. God Wars: The Complete Legend.
This sounds like somebody's banking on somebody else's success.
Sounds a little bit like it, right? Like, oh yeah, I'm going to pick up this God of Wars game for my kid. He's been talking about it. And look, 3 pretty young ladies on the front cover.
And then you start reading the summary, and you're like, this is not.
It looks like one of the anime games that you see on Steam. I don't know how risque it'll be, but it's sitting at a 75. So enough people like it. You might want to find out which of those people, if they share the same interests as you. So
this game looks nothing like a father and son.
I'm here, boy.
It's rated T. It's rated T.
All those anime games are very questionable in my book.
So Planet Alpha comes out for the Switch as well. It also comes out for the Xbox One, and we're going to go ahead and transition over there.
Same score.
Yeah, multi. They all sitting around the same 71. It looks like for all of them. So I think they kind of blend them.
Yeah, I'm surprised this next one on Xbox wasn't talked about on PC.
Sure.
Wait, well, this one's actually probably the first time on console.
This has actually been on. I don't think this is a first time on console. To be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
I think this one came out previously, but this is the Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition. I'm pretty sure it was already out. The Original Sin 2. But this is sitting with a 96 right now, and I think we all know it's a great game. Yeah, and
I
maybe even like
it.
Really, well, with the 96, you might need to take another look at that. That might be one of the best games ever made.
I put like maybe 20 to 40 hours into the non-definitive edition, and now the definitive edition's out, and it's not cross-save because so much stuff changes in the definitive edition. So I put all that back into it, and that's like, Well,
I'd be interested to see what the comparison is on the on the scoring, but it may be, depending upon how much you love it. It sounds like this may be the experience that that you'd want to have. So I hate to tell you how to spend your money, but it's possible you're playing the wrong one.
I think if you own it on PC, I think you got the definitive edition for free. I don't think you have to pay for an upgrade.
Yeah. PC gamers are good like that. They end up getting hooked up with things, when they
re-release. It was the God console.
Yes. And then another game Brandon just won't shut up about, Strange Brigade.
I love games.
Yes. Egypt in the 1930s, erased from ancient history and buried in a nameless tomb for 4,000 years.
Is this a sequel to,
the Witch Queen has risen once again. I didn't watch the movie, so I don't think I want to play the game. Doesn't this sound like The Mummy? No.
It's The Mummy. The Mummy. The Mummy. Yeah.
Is this the sequel to Assassin's Creed?
Potentially. I don't know much about it. It is rated teen. Let's do a quick dive into a Strange Brigade. Because now it's kind of got my curiosity. It's sitting with a 75 right now on Metacritic.
Which is starring Brendan Fraser and
starring Brendan Fraser.
Besides that, there's also Pro Evolution Soccer, if you're for those soccer fans out there, and that's at 83, if you like soccer.
Sure. Graphically, it looks pretty interesting, and it is made by a well-renowned developer, Rebellion. They've made, I want to say it was like Alien Isolation or some of the Alien vs. Predator games. Rebellion's known for making, yes. They make the good one, is all I know about Rebellion.
They make the good ones.
They make the good one. I won't say anything else. Well, let me see if I can get a quick
film
there.
Sniper Elite.
Marcus Pass, Sniper Elite 3, Rogue Trooper, Battlezone. They got more than this, though. I don't want to just sell them
Zombie Army.
Yes, Nazi Zombie Army. Alien vs. Predator Classic 2000, so the original 2000 game, which was considered very, very good. Evil Genius, I don't know if you played that game, but that was really fun. That's 20 years ago.
Have some credits on some Call of Duty.
I'll be honest, man. I'm not sure about these titles.
A lot of Sniper Elite DLC. I was trying to give a little bit better,
library.
It looks like they had some involvement with Gun. Yeah,
okay,
that's a great game. But it looks like Battlefront, the first Battlefront game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront. Yeah, you're right. They were involved with that one.
Medal of Honor, Call of Duty.
James Bond, From Russia with Love. That was the kind of the retro remake. Midnight Club Street Racing.
Midnight Club Street Racing. Yeah. They have some
Dead to Rights. I mean, they've got
a lot of games.
A lot of genres, it seems.
I wouldn't go crazy with it.
I don't, a lot of these games are not the primary developer, but I'm sure they helped out in a lot of these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's got some it's got some love there with the 75, so it might be interesting to check out. They make pretty immersive games.
Maybe catch it on a sale.
Yep. And then the other game you keep talking about, Pro Evolution Soccer, 2019. Not sure if there's any difference from 2018, but it's got an 83.
Ole.
Yes.
Ole.
All right. So getting out of Xbox territory and into PlayStation 4.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah.
The drum roll is they probably got two. Like, it's so hard because there's so many good games this year for PlayStation,
Definitely.
and it's really hard to say that these would really even rank in the top 10. But these are still really well reviewed games. So first one I'm talking about is, of course, Marvel's Spider-Man. That comes out tomorrow. Tomorrow being the 7th of September, and that's currently sitting with an 87 right now. And that is probably, in my view, the most hyped game of the week.
Yeah.
Probably of the month, really.
Especially on consoles of the month.
Yeah,
certainly
people are probably looking forward to this than they probably did WoW.
I would say for certain type of gamers, like I'm not that multiplayer gamer. I like to kind of sit back and play through some things, and this is hitting that itch for me. So I'll be enjoying this. This for
Batman.
someone who enjoys The Witcher, this will be good for me.
Oh, the Batman.
And yeah,
Arkham
definitely
fans.
the Batman games.
So 87 with 93 critic reviews.
That's high praise.
That's high praise, and then that's a lot of critic reviews.
That's
Consider all the other ones, maybe had 10, maybe 12 maximum. This has 93. That's crazy.
Yes. There is interest in the game.
88 of those were positive, by the way. That's basically 80 and above.
Yeah.
So 88 out of that. Yeah.
I believe it. I certainly believe it. So that oh wait,
Well,
so
the
there's
next
also
thing.
SNK Heroines, Brandon's favorite game.
This is lower
Tag
than it
Team
was
Frenzy.
on the last console.
I think it's the same.
62
The 61.
on Switch.
It dropped from Switch
Dropped
to
1 point for PS4.
PlayStation 4. Another game that I'm personally interested in, mainly because of the goodwill from previous games, is Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. You guys ever get into Dragon's Quest? Maybe 8?
No. Now, is this actually a new game, or is this like one of those remade reports from a different console type of deal?
This is new to us. This released last year in Japan, and this is the U.S. localization.
Yeah, Dragon Quest seems like one of those Final Fantasy style games where they re-release it, remake it, have different titles for different countries, that kind of thing.
But the difference between Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy is that Dragon Quest has been the same and the same battle system throughout their entirety, and they don't really change much other than the story. I mean, they made an MMO, but that was a little different. But that's about it. Whereas Final Fantasy keeps changing everything, mainly probably because Dragon Quest is very popular in Japan, and they don't. That's where everything lies, and that's where they probably base their new games off of. Whereas Final Fantasy is more popular in America, where everything kind of changes a bit. But yeah, I'm interested as well. But I'm just not sure about the diving into another 100 hours of JRPG experience here. So I think that's what it is, or that's 60 hours or something like that.
And if you're looking into that, Ni no Kuni 2 might not have necessarily done that for you this year. Well reviewed, but certainly not as high as 88. I mean, 88's pretty great. So I have pre-ordered it. It will sit on the shelf for a while until Spider-Man's done. So, but that's just how it goes.
We'll give a review for it in 6 months.
Sure. And then another Planet Alpha showing. So Planet Alpha released wide, all 4 consoles, breaking around a 66 overall is where it's sitting. So probably not the best week to release a game with everything else that's going on. It's the lowest rated on every platform. So not much to say there. And then I guess maybe the internet darling game that has been. Let me just read the description of this game.
Huh? Okay.
Donut County, currently sitting with a 77 on Metacritic. A simple game about a raccoon who goes around sending objects down a deep, dark hole in the ground.
What?
It looks like that Katamari type of game, where you would roll the ball around and things would stick to it. Now, I'm not saying it's that. It looks like that. I'm saying it reminds me of that because it's like a item collection and you send stuff down a hole. It's pretty hard to describe what's actually going on in this game. But I was watching some streamers play, so it's probably not the last time you'll hear about it. You probably see it again. And as I mentioned, it's currently sitting with a 77 overall, so not bad for an indie title. Interesting, though.
Interesting.
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 Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting. Interesting
Lots of
Like, they've got
games.
screenshots of like a raccoon sitting on the toilet playing with an iPad.
Nice.
Right,
Yes.
right. That's what I expected. That's what I expected. Reading the title, that's what I expected, actually.
Well, you got it. Exactly what you're looking for. All right, I've done enough talking. Someone else take over, please.
Yeah, so this section of so basically all these new games are coming out is gonna get crazy come October and the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I would think like maybe not a lot of smaller games will be coming out at the same time these big ones are, but maybe they are, because considering that like they're different platforms and different genres. I don't know. What do you think? I'm just kind of curious.
Titles really depend upon those first couple weeks sales to really make their money back. So like Call of Duty without like $1 billion launch is not a success. Whereas an indie title can kind of grow and evolve as time goes on, and maybe it gets picked up on a Steam sale or an Xbox Live sale or a flash sale or whatever. And
so they could release
maybe that's
it
where it
time.
finds its
Yeah. Okay. And we forgot to name this big news. Battlefield 5 has been delayed.
Yes.
Yep, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And
It's not good enough.
I think the beta actually started Tuesday or yesterday. That's actually going on right now.
Oh yeah.
So the news was because of the feedback in Gamescom and and some other closed beta, they're holding it off for another month to polish it, but probably because of the other games that are coming out.
Big games around.
Yeah, but well, they need to have a big title coming out because of the issues with Battlefront 2, Andromeda.
Oh yeah, they can't drop the ball on this.
They can't. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Cool. Is that all the game news we got?
It's all the game news.
That's it.
All right.
So a couple quick stuff before we give a review for a show that just came out. For those who care about some of these titles, Zombieland 2 is to begin filming in January. It'll feature a super zombie hordes, which is interesting to see. I'm gonna do all the quick ones, then we can discuss some of the other ones. Die Hard 6 will be titled McClane. There's a Wile E. Coyote movie in the works at Warner Brothers.
Okay.
And now we can move into stuff we can discuss.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What do you think about this latest Witcher casting
Yeah.
with Henry Cavill?
The only complaints I've really heard is that he's too pretty to be Geralt. Like Geralt's kind of a rough and tumble kind of guy, but I feel like Cavill's got the acting chops and he's been in some action. He's in that probably the best Mission Impossible movie, this most recent one. So,
I actually seen
I'm curious to see it.
Like a fan edit with his face, like kind of turned into Geralt, and I know it's just an edit, but he looks pretty spot on. It's pretty good. I don't know if he'll have the whole beard thing going on, if they're going to do a younger Geralt with no beard, clean shave, but I think he can pull it off.
I agree. I'm looking forward to it. There's so many awesome TV shows that we're hearing about, coming out. And I mean, between, the Lord of the Rings, we got, a whole lot of new, like medieval type shows and stuff, like
Game of Thrones, the last season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And a spinoff, coming.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a number of things.
Witcher, they came out and said today, Witcher will release next year, actually.
So, oh, wow.
Okay, everything about this sounds great. I'm really looking forward to everything.
Yeah,
was it that budget? I'm sorry, I know we talked about it before, but was Lord of the Rings the biggest budget of all of them?
Oh,
it's $1 billion budget.
But this one, what was the budget for The Witcher?
I don't know if
Wasn't near. Oh, they didn't give that number.
I don't think I've seen it.
Okay. Because I really wonder if they're gonna push a lot to it. Because I think they should. I think they should put a lot into it. It's just popular amongst gamers, popular amongst. I mean, just in general, like the books too as well. So
yeah, books sound right.
Yeah, the books are they're originally written in Polish. They were released in Poland, and I wouldn't say only recently, but maybe in the past 5 years, because of the success of the games, they've released them. They never go on sale. I keep watching for them. I got them tagged. If they ever go on sale, I'd like to pick up more of them. I have the first 3. I've read through 4 of them, in like paperback. But I'd like to get them digitally and go back through them too.
Cool.
But they're cool. They have kind of some oddness because of the translation.
Oh, okay.
Not everything quite carries over.
Polish
Interesting.
Stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely a lot of culture stuff and a lot of fairy tales. Like Geralt is probably most, and you'll see this a lot playing the game. But he'll fight like the big bad wolf who's blowing down people's homes. It's like that kind of thing where it won't necessarily be he's blowing down pigs' homes, but it'll be like slight deviations on well-established fairy tales.
Okay. Yeah. What else we got?
We have Matt Smith cast in a key role for Star Wars Episode 9. Matt Smith was one of the doctors in Doctor Who. So I don't know what a key role is, but that's interesting to see a big name join the cast. This is kind of a funny one that I've seen. Alec Baldwin joined the Joker movie. He was gonna be playing Thomas Wayne, and then almost immediately after the news broke, maybe 12 hours later, he backed out and said, "Never mind."
Yeah.
So they're still looking for a Thomas Wayne out there. So it's just I don't know.
He would have been perfect for it.
Yeah, I think it's been a good cast. I wonder what exactly caused him to back out. But it's odd. I don't think I've ever seen like an announcement like that of someone joining a movie and then leaving that same day.
It could be a lot of
you
things.
have the contracts and everything already set up. It all depends on what came of it. I don't know anything else about this Joker movie, so I would have to hear more.
It's supposed to be some kind of origin movie-ish type deal.
Yeah. I have as a comics purist, I have some problems with that, but
yeah, because isn't the Joker's origin always supposed to be a thing of mystery?
Well, they keep pretending to tell it to you, and then it turns out it's a lie, or it's that was someone else all along. They don't necessarily.
Someone talk about maybe they'll do it like sort of like an interview process. They talk to different people and they kind of tell their story of how the Joker is, and it might be something like that. But who knows?
Interesting.
I don't know how I feel about this one either, but Tom Hardy is signed for 3 Venom movies.
I don't feel good about that. No.
If Venom is successful, you may see 3 more, or 2 more.
I'm not feeling good about that because I want Tom Hardy as different things. It's just me.
And I keep seeing things like, "Oh, Venom's the highest, most anticipated movie of the fall," and I'm like, "Who's
making that up?
Watch this movie,
right?"
Yeah, that's just a lie.
Yeah. Like they just look at the YouTube views of probably the trailer versus any other thing. Yeah, or the comments. Yeah.
Oh man, but we'll see. It's actually I think late next month. So we'll see. I'll go watch it to at least talk about it on here.
Oh, you will?
See. I mean, I'll definitely check it out. I mean, I feel as a nerd, even if it is going to be terrible, I have to go watch it, and so I can talk about how terrible it is. But
yeah, I did that. I did the same with Tomb Raider. I actually watched it on Redbox.
I haven't watched it yet. I've been wanting to. Is it terrible?
It's bad.
Is it?
It's bad. Yeah.
Oh no.
No.
Speaking of something else that's really bad, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is, as we talk right now, currently on hold.
As well it should be. There's too much going on around it right now. I don't even know how you could release it at the moment, knowing like all the everything behind it. There would be, first of all, there'd be the people that want James Gunn to direct. Would not be getting what they want. They're starting way behind the 8 ball on it. Just concerns left and right about the what the quality would look like. And I think it's probably for the best.
That's pretty sad because the last 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies have been incredible Marvel movies.
I will differ a little bit on the second one, but I really liked it. But I don't put it as high as the first one, or even as good as some of these. Even Thor Ragnarok.
Ragnarok was great. I think
Ragnarok was great. Yeah. Can you give me a little summary about what's going on? I know you just kind of covered a little bit, but
James Gunn came out, had some tweets years ago about
a decade ago.
Yeah, some some may consider. I don't know if it's offensive or kind of inappropriate.
Cringe humor.
Yeah.
Really inappropriate, mean-spirited.
Kind of stuff you might see on dank memes.
Yeah,
So they digged it up or something?
Yeah,
or?
someone
it got dug up.
backbanned him.
Okay.
I think he's deleted.
Not just someone. One of I guess one of the people that are affiliated with like Alex Jones and all that. So it gets ugly. And I don't want to get into overall, but there's some smearing on both sides that's going on, and
all right.
There's some retaliation from the other side, So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Disney fired him for really, whatever, released him. No one knew if they were going to use his version of the movie, if they're going to redo the movie. Some of the stars felt like Dave Bautista is like one of the most outspoken one right now, saying if they don't use James Gunn's version of the movie, he's not going to be in it.
And it's just James Gunn.
Wow.
James Gunn, yeah.
Okay, so no, it's definitely big. It's definitely
pretty. Yeah, it's in a
changing
pretty
stuff.
spot.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, the actors say they don't want to come back. There's all sorts of things going on right now. So,
and most of the time they're saying it's not because of Marvel or anybody in Marvel Studios. It's a Disney thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the actors are on the side. I'm just last question. Is the actors on the side of James Gunn?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Or so it seems. You know, they all came out. Actually, they all came out, signed a statement saying that they believe in second chances, and they think, given the time and the fact that was a person, who had, different feelings and different, expectations of them, 10 years ago, it's really hard to be paying for sins, from that long ago, right? Everyone's done. It's just not a level playing field when you've got people losing careers over admittedly terrible tweets about horrifying subjects.
Yeah.
Right.
Disney's really in a bad spot right now in terms of.
I mean, he's already made 2 movies for him.
Yeah.
Like while these tweets existed, so it's
these things exactly. Yeah, he didn't put this out afterwards. This was well before and well known.
Just scary whatever you put on the internet can and will come back to you.
Yep.
Eventually.
Yep.
So
public service announcement: delete your Facebook, delete your Twitter. It's not worth it.
There you go.
Making a very anonymous Reddit account if you must.
There you go.
And even that can bite you in the butt sometimes. All right. So I don't know if you guys have watched this, but a show released on Amazon this last week or this past week, Jack Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
You guys kept up with or watched it any?
I have not watched
bits and
it.
Pieces. I'm waiting for a day to sit down and really, be able to watch it on my own. But from what I saw, Jim from The Office fights terrorists.
Yeah, Jim is fighting terrorists. I've watched all but the last episode with my wife, and it was almost as if it was a binge. So we just like watched them back to back to back. I'd have to say it's a pretty entertaining show. It's got a good various pacing between the action and the drama. It's not all one-sided. But I'd have to say, as someone who watches a lot of The Office, it's kind of hard to see. I'm gonna butcher his last name. I always do.
Krasinski.
John Krasinski. It's kind of hard to take him away from being Jim from The Office, because I think it'd have been easier if they maybe gave him a beard, make him look a little different. But he wears suits. He looks just like he does in The Office, and you're kind of like, that's Jim.
Yeah. To be fair, the other actors that played this were Ben Affleck,
Harrison Ford,
and Harrison Ford. So
Alec Baldwin, actually.
Did he actually played as Jack Ryan?
Huh? Yeah.
Interesting. I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, there's been a lot, and of course Chris Pine. Don't forget about that Jack Ryan movie. Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit.
I don't remember that.
Forgotten
at
about
all.
it.
Yeah,
I didn't know it even existed.
It's kind of the reason why it's a TV show now is because it did so poorly. They're like, let's make this a TV show on Amazon.
Gotcha.
Tom Clancy stuff's pretty deep. I won't say it's like really great work, but it's it's well researched. It's pretty authentic, and
I have to say the story isn't terribly unique. It is pretty much your anti-terrorist CIA kind of show or movie that you're kind of used to. But I think it does a good job of telling that story and pacing it and putting a little bit of twist on some things that happen every now and then that you don't. There's a lot of twists I don't really expect. Overall, I would say it's probably a 7.5, and I definitely think it's worth of another season.
Cool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna check it out. I would say this weekend, but we'll see. We got Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, very, very busy time for nerds.
Yes. So, in honor of Spider-Man, I'm going to be reviewing a Spider-Man-like comic today called Web Warriors, #1. And you might remember on the last show that I reviewed a comic, I talked about Edge of Spider-Verse. Edge of Spider-Verse is was the beginning of a series, it's kind of a crossover, where they had Spider-Man from different areas. And you might remember I talked about Spider-Punk.
Isn't there off topic, isn't there a movie related to this coming out? Like
Yes.
an animated movie?
That animated movie that's coming out, I want to say in December. That looks really good, to be honest. Looks really interesting, at least. That's based on the series from last year.
Okay, so
the
the series you're talking about isn't the same series.
No, this is a sequel series,
okay.
so it's going to be kind of a follow up. So Marvel is known to do this. They kind of do things in cycles. Probably 7-8 years ago, they had Thor Ragnarok, which spanned all of the Marvel comics in which Ragnarok was happening, and they attacked Earth, not Asgard, and that it was more of a it brought in a lot of people. Then there was the Secret Wars that is kind of being alluded to in Infinity War and Captain America Civil War. So the Marvel Cinematic Universe tends to take from these big crossover event type of shows or type of series. And this animated series coming out from Sony at the end of the year is based on Spider-Verse, which is essentially it's all the timelines throughout the multiverse converging on a central point where there's these hunters going out from there and attacking all the different Spider-Mans from all the different universes. So you're of course familiar with Peter Parker, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And what he does, right? But did you know there's a Piotr Parquad?
Piotr
It has
Parquad.
to be the French Spider-Man, right?
Okay.
He is
All right.
the Indian Spider-Man.
Oh, wow, that's
And he basically looks just like Spider-Man, but he has like pillow pants, like parachute pants.
very stereotypical. I see.
Can be construed as a little racist, but they do bring
little
that
on the
up.
nose there.
Little on the nose. Spider Ham, Peter
Spider
Porker, the spectacular Spider Ham.
Peter Porker. All right.
He is actually
All right.
there fighting along. He was a kind of a comedy strip in previous, in years gone past.
Just from The Simpsons, maybe?
Kind of. That's what they are. That's what they're referring to when Homer has the Spider Pig walking
Spider
across the
Pig.
ceiling.
Nice it. Like it. Yep.
Yeah. There are, and I can just go on and on. May Parker, the sweet aunt of Peter Parker, is a steampunk Spider-Man in the 30s in a different universe. Spider-Man's dad and Uncle Ben are Spider-Mans in different places. There is a female Spider-Man. I think I forgot what her name is, but it's like Spider-Woman. And they all have their unique names. You might remember we talked about Spider-Punk last time. So
Yeah.
what's happened is a subset of these. There is Spider UK, who is a British Spider-Man, and and a few other ones, including the ones I just spoke about. And they're going through, and because the multiverses are kind of leaking into each other, they've got to go through and protect the ones that no longer have Spider-Man. So, I mentioned that there were hunters that went out and, attacked Spider-Man across they killed
Spider-Man.
quite a few of them. So yes, so they go along and they go save multiverses where there are no Spider-Man. So it's #1. It's an interesting series because you get a different twist on Spider-Man if you are into him as a character. I think you'll get a lot of the inside jokes and some of the humor about it. It's also 3 different series, so it's 100 pages of comic, which is a lot. And it's 3 different stories that go through, which is, quite a bit for a #1 issue. If they could keep that up and make it an anthology type of series, I'd be probably buying it every month. But as for now, I'm just going to kind of watch and see how it goes. All 3 stories are interesting enough. and kind of fun. Be looking to see what the what the future brings from it. So, all in all, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. So in that good, not great type of range. I think if you're just getting into Spider-Man, it'd be really hard to pick up and go on from there. But if you watch the Spider-Verse movie and you want to see more, you could pretty much just jump straight into Web Warriors.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff. It's very timely. It's pretty much going to be Spider-Man it up here for a while.
Well, I will be. I don't know
Yeah,
about you guys.
I'll also be joining you. Actually, I've got it pre-ordered. I might actually turn my PS4 on tonight, make sure it's preloaded and ready to go for tomorrow.
Good idea.
I'm actually going to assume that a lot of the community that we have here is going to be playing Spider-Man as well. So we might see a lot of that in the pub, which is basically the general chat of the Discord.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Sure.
Well, we got a pretty good lengthy episode here. We've been on for a while, so I guess it's time to send it out. So if we want to do some promotions, talk about what we're doing, where we're at, where we're from. We'll
where we're from. Okay.
Yeah,
where we're at. What is this? What are we part of? What are we doing here? Well, we're part of the PixelPub gaming community, and you can see all of the information about everything we do on the website pixelpubgaming.com. You have the latest podcast right on the front page. You can have the podcast archive as well. You have our Wrath Incarnate Clan, our Bad Mama Jammas Guild. You have Fury of the Lotus Alliance, which is on the Warframe side, which is still growing and doing strong. We got Minecraft, we got Monster Hunter World. There's a lot of stuff as part of this gaming community.
There's
and the best way... Yeah, it's Madden. Yeah, we have a Madden league too, and they're doing really well too. So I'm happy about that. 32 players, full roster.
Full roster, like that's pretty impressive. So every game they play is against another person in the community.
And there's prizes for the winners and runner-up, I believe. So it's just great.
I hope
weekly.
whoever's in the Super Bowl streams it, and we can have like a big PixelPub Super Bowl party. We watch the Super Bowl game.
That'd be cool. We'll see that. We'll see. There's a weekly giveaways of games every week. Right now we're giving away a WoW token. So WoW token also can be translated to Blizzard, cash money if you want to buy some other game or whatever. So all you need to do is join Discord, see all that what we have to offer. Get plugged in, join up. The Discord invite is simple. Discord.gg/PixelPub. Our name.
Because we're partnered, of course.
We're partnered. Yeah, Discord partnered. We have merch. Just in case you wanted some merch. The Bad Mom Jammas have their own T-shirt. I think we're going to be looking at maybe possible an artist in the future to get some good artistry and get some good shirts out there. But you have the same, your good old fashioned PixelPub logo as well, white, black, whatever you need.
That's very faded now, but there it is.
There it is.
The
first run. They should have run under there. First run.
First runs are fading very, very fast.
Yeah, I just can't speak enough to the growth that we're having. We just reached over 12,000 members and actually close to 13,000 now. So 13,000 members in Discord. It's a large community. A lot of gamers.
We saw that big giveaway going on for 12K.
Oh, what was it? Oh no. Yeah, that's a WoW token, right? Yeah, WoW token. Yeah, still going strong. All right, that's about it. That's all I can. Wait, guys, anything to say?
No.
Close it out.
Let's close it out.
You covered it all. We're good.
Covered it all. So, that's it for us. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.